Yeah, there is. What's your biggest accomplishment in life?
Oh, damn. Biggest accomplishment? I guess raising you kids.
You did pretty good.
Huh?
We all ended up pretty good.
Well, that's what I say. I mean, you're not.
All mixed together. With Galaxy Nexus by Samsung.
I mean, you're not all.
Your contacts into circles, like you do in real life. So you can choose what.
We're all self-sustaining.
Yeah.
We still depend a lot on Daddy.
Well, you depend. Everybody depends on someone.
You can chat as a group in a Google Plus Hangout without missing a beat. Introducing the first phone.
But yeah, I'd say raising my kids. I mean, that's the one thing that he has to.
Gets invited to parties with paparazzi. It hangs out poolside. It has millions of drooling fans. It knows the recipe.
It's according to what's important to you.
Nothing like it. The Big Mac.
Yeah.
We were always what was important.
And don't miss
So,
the Mac snack
yeah.
while it's in the house.
Yeah, the family has always been more important to me, and
Where we go? Just a second. Just 1 second.
I think.
Don't look up there. Why are you looking up?
I think another thing that's important to me is the fact that it's not just the immediate family.
Are you okay?
I think I have a real good relationship with my cousins, with, you know, just,
Yeah.
Spending time together to spending your lives together. Chevy runs deep.
I think there's more to family than just your immediate family, and if that's all you can, if that's all you have time for, then, you know, you need to back off and see what is important in your life. You know, there's a whole lot of people in this world who love us and don't even actually, neither one of us take the time to get to know each other. And you have to have love, even if it's, like I say, even further away relatives.
You've always been close to the people up in Colorado.
Huh?
You've always been close to the people up in Colorado.
Well, you say always, but not really. Really, I've gotten real close to them the last 10 years or so. I guess I've always been closer than most cousins,
Yeah.
but you know, some people think because cousins live close together then they can be close, otherwise they shouldn't be. It's kind of ridiculous, you think about it. In other words, you're creating a relationship by location, and that's stupid.
Tell me how you really feel,
Not
Dad.
a word you should use, I realize.
On the last two series, we've seen Jay Radliff make plays now, and it is significant when he came.
Yeah.
I was gonna stop filming you because you look sick now. No offense, but
I
you
do?
can tell. Yeah.
Why?
Well, you're just like your arms are skinny and your legs are skinnier, and but that's all I've got.
Are you sick? You know.
That's all I've got. So we'll video it. You'll get tired of it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you say you look sick.
Of course, Michelle gets mad at me when I'm not blind. Don't get mad at me. I can tell. And I thought, I don't want to see, you know, it's...
Is still concerned about DeMarcus Ware and company coming off that edge, and now here we go, third down.
I don't really,
This is what Rob Ryan and the entire Ryan
you
family
know,
lives for. This is pressure time.
yeah, I don't look as good as I did. Of course, I was too far over if I was halfway. Be better, but
Is it getting any scarier?
No, I'm not scared. There's no scared to it. It's kind of weird.
What?
Just sitting around knowing you're waiting to die. Like I say, I'm not scared of it at all. I'm prepared to die, and I'm, you know, I don't want to die, but I'm ready to die. If that's what it takes, and you know, that's where the Lord leads, and that's where I'm not as scared of it. I trust him. So the only thing that scares me is I guess losing control.
Yeah.
I lose control of you girls. I lose control. I mean, it's just.
You think you can keep tabs on us in heaven?
No. No. Wow, thinkers. I think you got, you know, if I had control from heaven, then that would take away from your free will. And I don't think, you know, God's going to
I've always had free will.
God takes his hand off and gives us free will so that our relatives could sit there and slap us around. I don't think that's quite the way it goes. But when people argue with you, God doesn't take his hand off of you, but he allows you to do things. And right, wrong, or indifferent. Let's face it, we all do things that we know we shouldn't. Yeah.
Was there anything you wanted to do that you didn't get to do?
At various times, but never a lifelong thing that I wanted to do.
What about lately? Have you thought of anything you wished you'd have done?
One of the things Eli said that gave us problems was down in the red zone when we played the Cowboys.
Yeah, I wonder.
They only rushed 3 and they dropped 8 people back. You can imagine 8 people in coverage from inside the 10-yard line. So it allowed DeMarcus Ware time to just work against David Deal. He did okay, but when Eli started scrambling,
I don't know what's... God, it's hard to say. There's always something. But I can't, you know, I don't have any regrets, really. I just, I'm so pleased that our family's gotten closer. You know, partially from Lauren, partially from me. But I am pleased that we've kind of closed ranks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that if it wasn't for me that anybody would realize exactly how hard Michelle was hurting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Johnson's right. Yeah. Which house is yours?
But anyway,
What do you do? Well,
What do you think of Michelle?
what do I think of Michelle?
Yeah.
Good gosh, what do you think of your kids?
But what makes Michelle special?
the Chevy Silverado.
Michelle?
Most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup.
Michelle
on
is
the road.
probably
Worksite to home front. Chevy
the
Roadster.
sweetest, most giving person I've ever met.
We don't watch them superhuman. We watch them because they are human.
She wants to believe in the best in everyone.
Hopes and fears into the arena. In that moment, we join
And I'm not sure that
And so, when they fight,
that's not the best thing for all of us, but
and when they rise, we rise.
there's times when you've got
When
to,
they triumph, we catch a glimpse
you know,
of the best we can be.
the guy steps on you 3 times, you gotta back off a little bit. But,
Are you proud of her?
oh yeah, I'm proud of all 4 of you girls. Yeah,
The legacy
start with Yvonne.
with the all-new 24/7 NBC.
Yvonne's bravery is something that I could never,
Buy and sell tickets safely and securely.
Comprehend.
yeah, I mean, to me that's just,
Ticket exchange.
it's outrageous that she puts up with what she does in life. And there's no bitterness in Yvonne, which kind of gives you an idea of, like Lauren, you know. And all those kids are like that. Why did those 2 end up like that? You know, all kids that are handicapped don't turn out to be happy all the time.
Yeah,
And
but
yet-
they do.
We got 2 that'll put up with anything nearly and just be as happy as they can. So, you know, is it something that was done right in their life? Is it the luck of the draw?
Yeah.
You know, you don't really know, but you gotta kind of just feel like we got had 2 kids that were handicapped and were just wonderful, wonderful human beings. Now, like I say, whether it has to do with luck of the draw or what, I don't know.
What about how I turned out?
How you turned out,
Sure.
I'm proud of your efforts, Angie. You started out facing a lot of, the way you felt about a lot of things. You started out like behind the 8 ball on a lot of things. You found it hard to find happiness, and I think that's, I think you're coming closer all the time. So. I think that's one of the most.
I think Tony would like to have that one back. He faded away from that throw. Maybe saw Jason Pierre-Paul coming off the edge and just didn't set his feet and deliver an accurate shot.
But I don't look at any of you kids as by what you've done or haven't done, or job-wise. Well, you've got a good job. Keisha's got a decent job. Michelle don't have a job, but Michelle's never could have a job. As long as she had Lauren,
Yeah.
but, that was her job. So, and I don't think any of us can complain about the job she did. I mean,
She was the best mother.
yeah. If there was ever a mother that was on top of what she was doing, it was Michelle. some of the things that I did I'm proud of. Some of the things I did I'm not proud of. I think I tried real hard to keep the family together.
It worked.
Well, I'm just saying, I think we've had times when things got pretty shaky and it seemed to work. And sometimes you just don't know. But I think
But we've been handed a lot.
well, that's what I say.
Got a big piece of Sean Lee, I believe it was on that one. He's the motion tight end.
So do you have a
Once it's come across, Sean Lee thinks he's got it. Well, goodbye.
have a what?
idea of what it's going to be like? Do you have any thoughts of what
Didn't have such a good game.
What heaven's in
Yeah.
life?
getting in and
Well, I've said all along, when you start out, of course we don't know anything, but when I get there, the first thing you got to do is just praise your Savior. And I don't really know how long that takes. Many times I said, well, I'm going to spend a day doing this or a day, it's hard to fathom eternity.
yeah,
So, is it a day? Is it a week? Is it a month? Is it a year? Do we even have time up there?
yeah.
Nobody knows that. But I'm sure we will know more once we get there.
Send me a postcard.
Huh?
Send me a postcard.
Send the postcard. Huh?
Yeah.
But it's
Coach Newman's been a good one for a long time. Just fell right on the shoulder.
a lot of people say, well,
Exactly what happened.
we'll know this and we'll know that when we get there. I'm not sure we don't do a little learning while we're there. I mean, I don't know that it's all get there, poof, you know it.
It's been impressive.
Do you think souls contain the
Yeah.
age that we were here?
There was a preacher I was listening to the other day. He was talking about when you get to heaven, and let's just say that everything's written on scrolls. Can you imagine how many scrolls there are?
Yeah,
How many are you going to want to read? How fast can you read?
yeah.
I mean, it's a different body. It's, you're going to have different. So, if you're a fast reader here, are you a fast reader there?
I love when veteran offensive lines come
And everything that's been done through history, how many scrolls can there be? Did God waste all the paper before we even got to the trees? So, well, you don't know. So I think that's, I think there's so many questions that it's potentially more time consuming to try to figure out things we don't know than try to figure out what we want to know or do when we get there. We take day at a time, and we got so many days up there that it doesn't matter. I don't think you'll be wasting your time when you get there. I think you'll have enough knowledge and want to, you're going to want to know more.
What would your advice be to, say, Christian? What would your advice be to Christian as his grandpa or his popsicle?
What would my advice be to him?
Yeah, what would your...
You mean for life?
Sure. What would you tell him?
I think he needs to form a stronger... I mean, he's a good kid and all, but I think he needs a stronger Christian background. Not his name-wise, but a stronger Christian background. And I think that's something all the kids need. Because it's got to be, you don't have to start out with much, but you got to have something to grow. So when you get and you hit problems like I've hit, they don't bum you out. You know? I don't guess I've ever been probably the strongest Christian in the world, but I've always, that was always on my mind that I was. So I never had to sit back and wonder. And so when something like this hits, you get into a deeper thought of, okay, I know where I'm going, I know why I'm going now. How am I going to get there? And it becomes very simple to say, you know, just kind of sit back and pray and say, okay, God, you know, I want to be in your will. I want to be just as close to the center of your will as possible. And Jesus, lead me home. It makes it real easy. I mean, it really does. You know, I guess probably I should be reading the Bible 16 hours a day. But to some points that's important. But I think it's more important that I concentrate on staying as close to as I can to the will of God. Because I think that's, when you get to this point in life, that's where the importance is. You've got to be within the will of God and doing what He wants you to do. I am glad that I was put in a position where chemo was of very little use to me. If it was of use, it would have been of very little use, because I think that kept me from having to make a decision maybe that as a human I didn't want to make, but as a Christian I would have had to make. And I just, I mean, the position I was put in is, it don't matter. You know, I could stay in the will of God and still do what I figured I would always do. You know, I guess people find it strange that someone whose kid 11 years ago life was saved by chemo, that I feel that way. But while her life was saved, her life was also ended in the Yvonne that we knew.
Yeah.
I think there's a, you know,
Oh, it's a quality of life
there's
argument.
Well, yeah, and you know, it's just does Yvonne, is she better off today or not? And I don't know that. I can't tell you. Everybody likes to live, and everybody wants to live, and we want everyone to live, but I'm not sure that is the humanitarian choice for everyone. So,
Karen Cartwright is next. If you want to be a star, what do you have for us?
You believe in the death penalty?
Huh?
Do you believe in the death penalty?
No. Strange, but no.
You believe everybody can be healed?
No. Well, I believe everyone has a chance to be saved in the future. That's one of my biggest problems with the death penalty. But I also believe that God in the Bible gives you the right, gives the state the right to the death penalty. I think they have the right. I think God gave them the right. But I do not feel that I am a good enough person, a Christian enough, straight thinking enough, whatever you want to put it. I do not think I'm a good enough person to make a decision on whether someone else
Should die or not.
should die or not. That's, now, there may be some of those that are. And maybe you can say, well, you know, he killed 3 people, so he deserved it. Well, if he'd only killed 2 and injured 1, would he?
Would it be?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. It's, like I say, I just don't feel that would be my position to take.
Oh, just for Rose, so we have it on camera. What was your favorite toy growing up?
My favorite toy would be a bicycle. When I was 6 years old, I got a 26-inch bicycle. And it had a horn and a bell, had everything on it. Quite a...
A lot of dramatics this year for the Giants, and the Mara family has certainly seen its share. John Mara, as I mentioned before,
We lived out in the country, so I had to ride a bicycle everywhere I went. Either walked or rode a bicycle. And I don't remember if that this as cold as it is anymore back then. But
How old were you when you had your first girlfriend?
shit. Girlfriend?
Sure.
What are we talking about, girlfriend?
What you consider your first girlfriend?
Oh,
Whether it was in high school or whether it was in elementary school or...
No, I didn't have any girlfriends in elementary school. I had a girlfriend in high school.
Did she break your heart?
No.
No.
No. First from graduate, she was a year ahead of me in school. So he,
What would you tell the kids that is the secret to being happy?
there is no secret.
So how do you be happy?
Well, your being happy depends on other people, so sometimes there's just not much you can do about it. I don't think being happy is all that's cracked up in life. I don't think that you can take your highs too high or your lows too low. But you're not a failure because there's a rejection from someone else. That doesn't make you any more better or any worse. Because other people have jobs, have things in their mind that you don't know, and there's not a perfect person in this world. So you're not going to marry a perfect one, and you're not a perfect one. So if if there's problems and everything, then you're not. I just don't think it's. I think you live your life one day at a time. You do the best you can to make people happy. Everybody that's around you. God gave us 10 good rules to go by. We couldn't do those, so we made 5,000 more. I think if you go back and stick to the 10, try to obey those 10, and you'll be okay.
'All right, say good night.
Good night, everyone.